The Indian Navy has mounted one of the biggest search and rescue operations on the western seaboard after a residential barge with more than 250 people on board sank in Cyclone Tauktae off the coast of Mumbai. So 177 people have been rescued so far. Several Indian Navy warships, helicopters and even a P-8I long-range maritime reconnaissance aircraft has now been pressed into service. Commodore Alok Anand, Commodore Naval Ops Room, joins me on India First with the latest on the rescue operations. But before that, India Today's Manjeet Singh Negi and Abhishek Bhalla with this report. A heroic rescue. More than 300 lives saved. The Indian Navy has launched the biggest search and rescue operation after Cyclone Tauktae set adrift 3 barges and an oil rig in the Arabian Sea. Indian Navy ships INS Beas, Betwa and Teg joined INS Kochi and Kolkata in the search and rescue operations. More than 300 were evacuated from 2 barges in a dramatic operation on the choppy sea. The hunt is now on for many still missing from barge 305, which sank 35 nautical miles off Mumbai.
We are at INS Shikra at this point of time. Now, rescue operation is currently on for the crew members who are stuck in barge P305 and barge Gal Constructor. Now, all those people who are being airlifted are being given medical assistance here at INS Shikra. But Indian Navy, which is coordinating its efforts with the Coast Guards and other agencies, says that the sea, even at this point of time, is very rough. Even though there is no cyclonic activity, yet the rescue operations are being greatly hampered.
हम लोगों का एकदम वो हो गया था कि अब लगता है बचेंगे नहीं, लेकिन जाके हम लोगों का बार्ज ऊपर वाले की दया से साइड में रुक गया और ये नेवी वाले लोग पहुंचे, हम लोगों को रिसीव कर लिए, बच गए हम लोग.
While all the 137 people on board the cargo barge Gal Constructor have been rescued, close to 200 of the 273 on board 305 were taken to safety. Another Indian Navy ship, INS Talwar, is helping the 101 people on board the oil rig Sagar Bhushan. An accommodation barge, SS3, with 196 personnel on board, is also getting naval assistance. Both vessels are 15 to 20 nautical miles southeast of the Gujarat coast. Naval surveillance aircraft have also been pressed into service, even as the rough seas and strong winds are posing a huge challenge to Indian Navy's search and rescue operations.
The Indian Navy has intensified its operations as there are still 3 more boats that are stranded in the high seas. The next few hours are going to be a big challenge as the seas remain extremely rough. And that's the reason why the Indian Navy has augmented all its resources to make sure search and rescue operations can be carried out swiftly.
With Manjeet Singh Negi and Abhishek Bhalla, Bureau Report, India Today. It is a race against time. Indian Navy and Coast Guard personnel are looking for those still missing. Joining me on the broadcast is Commodore Alok Anand from the Naval Operations. Commodore Anand, many thanks for speaking to us here on India Today as you spearhead the rescue operations, sir. What's the latest that you can tell us about the search and rescue operations? Are multiple personnel, are many personnel still missing, sir?
Good evening, Gaurav. Yes, as we speak, the Indian Navy is involved in search and rescue operations in 2 places. Off the coast of Maharashtra, about 35 to 40 nautical miles southwest of Mumbai. First, I'll give you a brief on the situation of Mumbai, and then we'll move on to the other place, that is of Gujarat. of Mumbai. Yesterday in the morning, we got a report that one of the accommodation barges, Papa 305, which was operating in one of the offshore development areas, had started taking in water and had broken free of all her anchors. And she was drifting dangerously close to one of the unmanned platforms in the area. Eventually, she collided with the platform and started taking in more water. As this news was trickling in, we decided to cast off our ship for search and rescue operation. As you would understand, the conditions that time in Mumbai, yesterday in the forenoon, was quite severe. The winds were of the order of about 120 to 150 kilometers per hour, making it extremely difficult for our ships to leave harbor. Notwithstanding that, we managed to sail one of our frontline warships, that is INS Kochi, at about 10:30 in the morning yesterday, and she arrived in the area at 16:30. Departure of Kochi was followed by departure in quick succession of INS Kolkata, INS Talwar, and today morning we have also deployed INS Beas, INS Betwa, and INS Teg. As per the reports available to us, there were about 261 people on board that accommodation barge. When we arrived in the area, it was raining heavily. The visibility was almost zero. Wave heights, you would appreciate, was about 18 to 20 feet high, and the wind speed was of the order of about 140 kilometers per hour. Now, these are the conditions in which sustaining yourself at sea itself is the huge challenge for any ship. Notwithstanding that, our ship continued looking for the survivors because they were already in water. And if I can say that our efforts have bore fruit in the form that we have been able so far to rescue about 183 personnel out of those 261. Search for remaining 74 is still in progress. We have got 5 ships in the area since morning today.
The barge, did it sink? Has the barge gone underwater completely? And those who are still missing, how successful have you been in bringing people out from sea? Were they on rafts?
That's correct. The barge sank at 1900 hours yesterday, completely underwater, vanished from the surface of the sea. So all those people that we are talking about were in small groups or individually floating around that area, which that probability area of floating based on the conditions that were prevailing at that time was huge because the waves were high, wind speed was very high, and there was a continuous drift north. Notwithstanding that and the visibility and the fact that it was already late in the evening, the visibility had dropped to zero, it was dark. It was very, very commendable on part of the ships which were deployed there to search and take out almost more than 2/3 of the crew which had gone missing from that ship.
Sir, we are also told that some were on rafts and they had drifted out towards sea, and I believe it was Sea State 6 or Sea State 7. For the benefit of our viewers, this means extremely choppy waters. So under what challenges are you working, and you're working even now trying to look for those still missing, sir?
Gaurav, choppy is an understatement. It's towering sea. It's kind of a sea state where the waves are actually higher than the height of the ship. In that kind of a sea, sailing, keeping the ship steady and looking for people floating in water along the crest of the wave as well as on top of those waves is an extremely Herculean task. Notwithstanding that, and you have to employ very, very innovative methods to get those people rescued, because mainly the search and rescue at sea is done by 2 methods. One is by launching a helo, where you pick up the man who has gone overboard, or by using your ship's boat. Now, you would appreciate in the conditions that were prevailing or that are still prevailing in the region, we can neither launch the helo now nor we can lower the boat. So this was simple ingenuity on part of the ship's crew, the naval personnel who are present there, innovativeness, their seamanship skills, and their never say die attitude that we have been able to save such a large number of people.
But I believe at this point of time, more than 70 are still missing. Now, Commodore Anand, is this then a race against time, because some have been out at sea, perhaps in water for about 24 hours plus.
Absolutely correct. The barge sank yesterday at about 1900 hours, and as we speak now, it is more than 24 hours. So this is a race against time, but we will continue with our search and rescue operations till we account for the last survivor.
Apart from ships and helicopters, I believe the P-8Is have also been roped in. What role will this long-range maritime reconnaissance aircraft play, and what role are they playing at this point of time?
You would appreciate that when you stand on the bridge of a ship, your horizon actually is limited by as far as you can see. And now these kind of conditions which were prevailing in that region yesterday, as well as they are still slightly reduced, but they are still quite severe and grim. Your visibility reduces dramatically because you can't see beyond those towering waves. In that case, having an eye in the air in form of an aircraft or in form of a helicopter is extremely, extremely helpful to locate somebody who is floating on water. Now, because of the color of the life jacket, because of the color of the life raft, it is easier to spot them from when you are having an eagle's eye view, and thereafter you can direct the surface asset which is there in the area to the person, and then they can be rescued. Today morning, with the first light, we had the P-8I in the air. Seeking helicopters were launched from Mumbai, and later on in the day, we have also pressed in Chetak helicopters. And with that, if you see, the numbers have gone dramatically up of the people whom we have been able to rescue.
And this is not just one rescue operations. I mean, we are talking about Papa 305. I believe there are other rescue operations that have been mounted, and in Maharashtra itself. I'll come to Gujarat in just a moment.
The first rescue operation that we have done during this cyclone was off the coast of New Mangalore, where off Mulki we had a tug which was grounded, and there were 9 people on board. Then, moment the weather conditions in Goa improved, we launched a helicopter from there, and we airlifted those stricken people from that barge. That was the first SAR that was launched. Thereafter, we come to the Maharashtra coast, where we actually had 4 situations developing. One was this accommodation barge 305. Then we had reports of another barge, SS3, which had again broken free and was drifting north. And then we had a report of a drill ship, Sagar Bhushan, which was again drifting north at very high speed with about 101 people on board. And then we had another barge very close to Mumbai coast, Gal Constructor, which had about 137 people on board. So simultaneously, we tackled all the 4 challenges in which the ships were divided. Of course, among all this, the number of people who actually were in water was largest in case of Papa 305. So the bulk of the rescue efforts was directed towards 305 because saving life always remains the first concern.
Oh, absolutely.
At the same time, one ship.
You also have a situation, I believe, in Gujarat where a couple of ships are drifting dangerously close to the coast once again.
Yeah, we have these 2 ships, SS3 and Sagar Bhushan, which have been drifting since yesterday morning, and they were coming dangerously close to the shallow waters of the Gujarat coast. And that again would have been a disaster, unparalleled disaster, because these kind of ships getting grounded and thereafter what happens to them is beyond any human's control. So the first and foremost task for us was to stop the drift somehow. So INS Talwar was directed to that particular area, and with the help of ONGC and DG shipping tugs which were there, which have been marshaled to the scene of action, we at this moment, I can assure you that the situation is under control. We have been able to drop 1 anchor of SS3, and she is holding in her position with another tug connected up to her. And we have also been able to stop the drift of Sagar Bhushan by connecting 2 tugs to her. So, and Talwar is coordinating the efforts there, where we can say that as of now, there is no immediate danger to any life in that situation.
But these 70 plus at sea, how hopeful are you, sir, that you will be able to rescue them, and how quickly? Would you be able to give them a time frame, give their families a time frame?
Gaurav, we don't give up. In any search and rescue operation will continue till the last one is accounted for. We will continue till we can get a full account of everyone who was there on board.
Commodore Alok Anand from the Naval Ops Room, many thanks for joining me here on India First.
Thank you, Gaurav. Pleasure speaking to you.